Imagine an AI that can just ace a high school math Olympiad exam, scoring in the superhuman range, or solve competitive coding problems at an elite human level, putting it among the best worldwide. Can an artificial intelligence truly think like that? Sort of moving beyond just pattern recognition to, well, genuine deep reasoning. If you want to dive deeper into the future of what AI can do, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive. Because that's exactly the kind of groundbreaking performance we're talking about today. We're plunging into OpenAI's latest, most powerful model, o3-pro, which was released just this past June. Our mission with this deep dive is to really unpack what makes this AI so special. How does it think differently from anything we've seen before? What are its cutting-edge capabilities, truly? And importantly, how does it stack up against other leading AI models from Google, Anthropic, Meta? This isn't just about bigger models. It feels like something more fundamental is changing in how AI approaches complex problems.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What's really fascinating here is that o3-pro seems to represent a truly significant leap forward, specifically in AI's ability to reason and strategize. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have the essential nuggets of knowledge, the key takeaways to understand its impact, its relevance, really, in today's, well, incredibly fast-moving AI landscape. We're going to show you not just what it does, but maybe more importantly, why it matters for the future of problem solving.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
What exactly is o3-pro, and what makes it so different from, say, the previous generations of AI we've gotten used to?
So at its core, o3-pro is the latest and most powerful model in OpenAI's O series. These are models specifically designed and optimized for tasks that require heavy reasoning. It came out in June 2025, and it's a special kind of high compute variant of their base o3 model. Think of it this way. It uses the same underlying neural network as the regular o3, but, and this is key, it allocates additional computation time for each query you give it, which basically means o3-pro thinks longer before it gives you a response.
Thinks longer. Okay, that sounds really interesting.
Well,
How does that translate into its capabilities? Like, what does that process actually look like from the AI's perspective? Is it running more simulations internally or something?
exactly. Or, well, something like that. It's like having an AI that will genuinely ruminate thoughtfully on your prompt. That makes it exceptionally suited for high stakes or really complex tasks. It's not just about having a bigger model, like more parameters necessarily. It's about the model internally working through, let's say, multiple drafts or reasoning steps before it delivers that final polished answer, which hopefully leads to a much higher quality output. The analogy I like is imagine a chess grandmaster. They take their time, right, to ensure a winning solution, methodically planning several moves ahead, not just making a quick, good enough move. That extra processing time allows for a depth of reasoning that, frankly, other models struggle to achieve.
That grandmaster analogy definitely paints a picture of what it does. But, for our listeners who want to go a bit deeper, how does it actually do this thinking longer? What's unique about its architecture that allows for this deeper rumination?
Right. So technically, this model is what we call a dense transformer. It's estimated to be around 200 billion parameters strong. Just quickly, a transformer is the core neural network design behind most modern large language models, and parameters are essentially the billions of adjustable knobs it tunes during training to learn patterns and generate responses. It's trained using advanced reinforcement learning techniques, which means the AI learns by trial and error, essentially getting rewards for correct answers or good outcomes. But the really crucial part, the secret sauce maybe, is its private chain of thought. What this means is that o3-pro internally generates step-by-step reasoning, but it's not directly shown to you, the user. Think of it like a hidden scratch pad. It uses this internally to break down complex tasks, plan intermediate steps, and refine its solution before presenting the final answer. This hidden process seems to significantly enhance its reliability and nuance. And it's important to note, it's not a mixture of experts model, or MOE. That's a different architecture, where only specific specialized parts of the model activate for different tasks, which is great for efficiency. o3-pro instead seems to keep all its parameters active for each token. It prioritizes raw reasoning power for every single query.
Okay, so it's really optimized for that deep, multi-step problem solving. Where does o3-pro really shine then? What are its core capabilities in terms of, practical performance?
Precisely. Its primary optimization is complex, multi-step problem solving. This makes it exceptionally strong in domains like advanced mathematics, scientific reasoning, competitive coding, and intricate logical decision-making.
Can you give us some concrete examples? How does this thinking longer actually stack up against other models when you look at performance on really tough challenges?
Yeah, the findings they've shared are quite impressive, actually. Take the AAME 2024, that's the American Invitational Math Exam, a notoriously difficult high school math contest. In OpenAI's internal tests, o3-pro scored an incredible 93-94%.
Wow.
Which is firmly in the superhuman level performance range. It actually edged out Google's best, Gemini 2.5 Pro, which scored around 92%.
Okay. And coding. You mentioned coding.
Yeah, right, coding. On competitive programming challenges, platforms like Codeforce's, o3-pro achieved an ELO rating of about 2748. Now, an ELO rating is a system used to rank players in competitive games, like chess or Go. 2748 puts it squarely at an elite human competitor level. OpenAI's CEO even noted, and I quote, "This model is incredible at programming." Apparently, it made roughly 20% fewer major reasoning errors compared to their previous generation model, which was o1.
20% fewer errors, that's significant.
It really is. And in science, it achieved around 93% accuracy on something called GPQA Diamond. That's a benchmark of PhD-level science questions. And that score is higher than Anthropic's Claude 4 Opus, another very strong model.
Those numbers are genuinely astounding. It almost sounds, too good to be true in a way. What's the sort of profound insight here? Is this just about slightly better scores, or is it a deeper shift in what AI can actually do?
I think it's more than just marginally better scores. It feels like a profound shift towards AI truly mastering abstract reasoning at a human, competitive, even superhuman level in certain areas. The insight, I think, is that these models are moving beyond just matching patterns to genuine, complex problem-solving across diverse, really intricate domains. It probably signals a new era where AI can tackle problems requiring deep logical deduction, not just spitting back information it's seen.
That's a powerful statement. And you mentioned earlier it has full tool integration. Does that mean it can intelligently decide to use external tools as part of this complex reasoning, going beyond just its internal thought process?
Absolutely. And this is another major advancement and maybe another key insight here. The insight of agentic tool use is that AI is evolving from being a sort of reactive answer engine to a more proactive problem solver. o3-pro can automatically decide mid-reasoning to use external tools, things like web search, running Python code via an interpreter, using a file uploader, or even an image analyzer.
Okay, so how would that work?
Well, for instance, if it's faced with a tricky math word problem, o3-pro might decide, okay, the best way to solve this accurately is to write and execute a quick Python script. And it just does it. Or if you give it a photo to analyze, it can literally think with images. It can inspect and manipulate that visual input as part of its internal thought process. It's really about the AI autonomously strategizing its own approach to a task, deciding what tools it needs, whether that's code, web search, image analysis, and then executing that plan. This feels like a really foundational step toward truly autonomous AI agents. Though it's important to mention one current limitation. It can't generate new images itself. It can analyze them, but not create them from scratch.
So, okay, let's bring this down to earth. What does this all mean for you, the listener, in practical terms? When would you actually reach for o3-pro, given its unique strengths and maybe its weaknesses?
OpenAI's recommendation is pretty clear. They suggest using o3-pro for, and I'm quoting again, challenging questions where reliability matters more than speed, and waiting a few minutes is worth the trade-off. So basically, it's your go-to for situations where accuracy and depth are absolutely paramount, even if it takes a bit longer to get the answer.
Right. And what are some of the ideal, maybe real-world use cases for a model with this kind of deliberative power? Where are we seeing it being adopted and making a real difference right now?
We're already seeing significant adoption, particularly in certain areas. Developers, for example, are using o3-pro as like the ultimate debugging and code generation tool. Some describe it almost like having a senior engineer sitting right next to them, helping them think through complex code.
Like a coding partner.
Exactly. It can even serve as an algorithmic tutor, apparently identifying complex edge cases that might even stump a human expert. It's like a deep, reflective partner for coding tasks. Then, in knowledge work and research, it functions like an AI research assistant. OpenAI actually offers a specific mode called ChatGPT Deep Research for its business tier users. It uses an o3-based model, likely o3-pro or similar, to produce comprehensive research reports. And it can do this in like 5 to 30 minutes, which is incredible.
Wow. Where would that be used?
Think about fields like consulting or finance. Imagine a financial analyst trying to predict market movements or assess the risk for some complex derivatives. Instead of spending days sifting through data and running manual models, o3-pro could potentially ingest all that info, perform intricate calculations, and generate a nuanced risk report in minutes.
Acting as a huge accelerator.
Precisely. An accelerator for human experts. Scientists are also using it to brainstorm hypotheses, analyze huge datasets, even help design experiments. And for enterprises, we're seeing o3-pro being integrated via its API into workflows where high accuracy is just non-negotiable. Think legal firms analyzing contracts for specific clauses or loopholes, financial services generating complex risk reports, even technical customer support handling really tricky troubleshooting scenarios. Its reliability is a major selling point, although, of course, human oversight is still common, especially for high-stakes tasks.
Okay, this definitely raises an important question, though. For a model this powerful, are there any limitations, any catches? Because something this good usually comes with some kind of trade-off, right?
You're absolutely right. There's definitely a trade-off. The primary limitation of o3-pro is its slow response time. OpenAI is upfront about this. They caution that some o3-pro API calls might take several minutes to complete. If you use it in ChatGPT, you'll actually see a progress bar while it thinks. Complex queries can take anywhere from, say, 30 seconds to potentially over 5 minutes for a full answer. Compared to
GPT-4, which might respond in maybe 10 to 20 seconds for many queries. So the slower speed makes it pretty unsuitable for real-time back-and-forth interactive chat. It's truly best for those relatively self-contained queries where you need that deep, thoughtful rumination and you're willing to wait for it. Also, as we mentioned, it can't generate new images itself, and it lacks support for some specific ChatGPT features, like the Canvas workspace, for instance.
Okay, so let's say you're convinced o3-pro sounds like the AI specialist you need for those really challenging problems. How do you actually get your hands on this cutting-edge AI, and what does it cost?
Right, access and cost. For using it within ChatGPT, you'll need the ChatGPT Pro plan. That currently costs $200 per month. It's a premium subscription that gives you unlimited use of o3-pro, alongside other premium features.
$200 a month, okay. Yeah, it's positioned as a top-tier offering, mainly for power users and businesses. It replaced o1-pro as the most capable model available at that subscription tier. Now, for developers who want to integrate o3-pro via the OpenAI API into their own applications, the pricing is usage-based. It's currently set at $20 per $1 million input tokens and $80 per $1 million output tokens.
$80 per million output tokens. How does that compare?
Well, just to give some context, a token is usually like a piece of a word or punctuation. So 1 million tokens is a lot of text, letting it read or generate vast amounts of information. But yes, $80 per $1 million output tokens makes it quite expensive. It's roughly 4 times the cost of the base o3 model for outputs.
So definitely not for casual use.
Exactly. This isn't the AI you'd use for every casual chat or simple task. It's the premium high-performance tool you deploy when accuracy and deep reasoning are absolutely critical. Kind of like hiring a top-tier specialist consultant for a really high-stakes project, you know? You pay more for that expertise and reliability.
Okay, so OpenAI is clearly pushing its own boundaries, raising the bar internally. But as we know, the AI landscape is just fiercely competitive right now. They're definitely not alone. How does o3-pro stack up when we look outside OpenAI's walls? What about the other major players, Google, Anthropic, Meta, maybe Mistral AI? What's fascinating is how each company seems to be innovating in slightly different ways, pushing different aspects.
Absolutely. It's crucial to look at that competitive landscape. It's really dynamic. So first, let's consider Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. Google's flagship model has that absolutely massive 1 million token context window.
1 million tokens, right?
Yeah, which means it can process entire books or huge code bases basically in one go. It also boasts native multimodal integration, handling text, images, audio, even video, all seemingly quite seamlessly. So Gemini really excels at throughput and that extreme multimodality, especially for very long inputs. However, based on the metrics we have, o3-pro still seems to lead on pure step-by-step reasoning accuracy, like in those high-stakes math tests we talked about.
Well,
So maybe the analogy holds. If Gemini is like a Tesla, great at handling long road trips with impressive autonomy and lots of inputs, then o3-pro is more like a Ferrari, meticulously focused on completing a single complex lap faster or perhaps more accurately with pinpoint precision.
That Ferrari versus Tesla analogy is pretty useful for Google and OpenAI, but let me push on that a bit. If o3-pro is the Ferrari for these really meticulous single tasks, does that mean Gemini's long road trip capability, the huge context, makes it more versatile for maybe a wider range of enterprise applications, even if it's not always quite as pinpoint precise on one specific reasoning chain?
That's a really great point. Gemini's vast context window and its inherent multimodal nature do make it exceptionally versatile for certain tasks. Imagine summarizing entire legal briefs that are hundreds of pages long, or analyzing large video archives for specific events, or cross-referencing massive data sets where just the sheer volume of input is the main challenge. For those kinds of scale-dependent tasks across different data types, Gemini likely has a significant advantage. So while o3-pro might be superior for, say, a single, deeply complex math proof needing intricate steps, Gemini handles the scale of information incredibly well, especially across different modalities. It really comes down to the specific problem you're trying to solve. One isn't universally better, they're optimized differently. Okay, then there's Anthropic Claude 4 Opus. Claude has a reputation for its conversational finesse, its ability to handle long dialogue smoothly. It also has a very large 200K token context window. Anthropic has even called Claude 4 Opus the best coding model in the world at the time of its release. And importantly, it's built with a strong safety-first approach using their constitutional AI framework.
Right, the safety aspect is big for Anthropic.
It is. So while Claude is often faster for interactive chat and genuinely excellent for long, nuanced dialogues, o3-pro appears to still have an edge on some of those raw reasoning and knowledge benchmarks, like beating Claude on those PhD-level science questions. Next up, Meta Llama 4 Maverick. Its unique selling point is really its open-source nature, well, open-ish, and its incredible efficiency. It's a mixture of experts model, remember. 400 billion parameters total, but only about 17 billion are active per token. Which means it can potentially run on a single high-end GPU, making it much more accessible for researchers and companies to run themselves. It's also natively multimodal and supports that 1 million token context similar to Gemini. So Llama 4 really shines in efficiency and openness. Its raw accuracy might be slightly lower than the absolute top closed models like o3-pro for the very toughest reasoning problems, but its accessibility and lower compute requirements are a massive advantage for many users. And finally, let's touch on Mistral AI's Magistral. This model's interesting because it focuses on transparent reasoning. Unlike o3-pro's hidden chain of thought, Magistral can actually show you its step-by-step logic.
Oh, interesting. So you can see how it got the answer.
Exactly, which could be huge for trust and debugging. Mistral also boasts very fast generation with its flash answers, claiming something like 10x faster responses for certain queries. Now, its raw reasoning performance, based on scores like A, where it got around 73%, is currently lower than o3-pro. But that transparency offers really distinct advantages for specific use cases, especially where auditing the AI's thought process is critical or where sheer speed is the absolute top priority. So if you zoom out and look at the whole landscape, it's an incredibly exciting, really competitive environment, and ultimately users like you are the true beneficiaries. Each model has pretty unique strengths. OpenAI's o3-pro currently seems to lead on pure reasoning quality for those complex high-stakes problems. Anthropic's Claude excels at extended conversational context and its safety focus. Google's Gemini leads on multimodal integration and that massive context window. Meta's Llama 4 shines in efficiency and openness, and Mistral's Magistral is making waves with transparency and speed. There's a tool for almost every need.
That breakdown makes it crystal clear. There's really an AI specialist emerging for almost every kind of demanding task. And yeah, that competition is definitely benefiting everyone. It truly feels like we're seeing a new wave of AI development, moving beyond just understanding language to, well, truly understanding and solving complex problems.
Yeah, definitely. So just to summarize the key takeaways from our deep dive today. First, OpenAI's o3-pro is really pushing the frontier in AI reasoning. It uses those internal deliberative thought processes to achieve unprecedented accuracy in complex areas. Second, it achieves superhuman level performance in challenging fields like advanced math and competitive coding, showing AI is really starting to master abstract reasoning. Third, its unique agentic tool use is a big deal. It allows the AI to intelligently integrate external tools like web search, code execution, and visual analysis, acting more like a proactive problem solver. Fourth, remember the trade-off. This power comes at the cost of speed and money. It's considerably slower and more expensive, making it ideal mainly for tasks where reliability trumps speed. And finally, the AI landscape is fiercely competitive. Each major model from Google, Anthropic, Meta, Mistral offers distinct advantages, whether it's context length, efficiency, openness, or transparency, giving you a really wide array of specialized tools to choose from.
It makes you wonder, as AI models like o3-pro become increasingly thoughtful and reliable, really starting to function as reasoning partners, what new types of human creativity or problem solving will we be freed up to explore? What complex challenges, maybe previously intractable ones, will we now be able to tackle with this kind of advanced assistance? This deep dive has definitely shown us that AI is becoming much more than just a quick answer generator. It's evolving into a true collaborative thinking partner. We're maybe one step closer to AI that can function as a genuinely reflective partner across many different domains, potentially unlocking completely new frontiers in science, engineering, art, who knows where else.